I'm Heaton from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm here at Table Mountain Outfitters for opening of Archery mule deer for 2019. The first impression of this area of Wyoming is just how vast it is and how big country it is. And then as you start driving around, it's just the sheer number of animals. Mule deer and antelope seemingly in the thousands. So, you know, just the first hour is you're kind of in awe of the sun rising clearly over the horizon and just animals everywhere. I think it goes without saying that when you see that many animals, you have pretty good feelings about the few days or week to come that you'll probably be able to get it done. So I've known Scott and Angie for a while and have wanted to do a mule deer hunt with them. You know, Scott's shown me videos of all of his stalks, and every time I see him, he's telling me I got to do it. So I had maybe a little bit of an idea of what to expect, but you know, you never really know how it's exactly going to go down. But I would say it lived up to kind of anything I thought. You know, we drove around and found deer, and it was a really interesting morning. It was very foggy and hazy, so the visibility was a little tough. But almost immediately as we could see, we started seeing deer. We saw a pack of maybe 8 to 10 really nice bucks, and that kind of set the expectation high that it was going to be a good day.
Yeah, that's one I was talking about. He's got the mass. He's the oldest buck in there. Got big uppers. He's missing a bottom fork on his right, but he's a stud.
Yeah. After driving around and trying to figure out where everybody was and where they'd kind of settled in for their shade for the day, we found the one we wanted and set off to hike in on them. The thing about Scott and Angie and the way that they guide an outfit and their experience is that there is zero doubt that they have like, if they say do this, it's gonna work. We started walking. It was, I mean, you know, obviously we were going with the intent of successfully hunting, and so, you know, it was serious, but it was calm and like collected, and we just, 4 of us walked out in single file. After driving around and trying to figure out where everybody was and where they'd kind of settled in for their shade for the day, we found the one we wanted and set off to hike in on them. I mean, coming from whitetail hunting, where if you so much as move your head wrong in the tree stand, you feel like they're going to see you, it is a different experience to you know, if you play the wind right or if you have the wind like you do here in Wyoming and you play the line of sight, they're not going to hear you. So it really makes it a little bit easier if you can figure out the way to do that. And that's what Scott and Angie and the guides at Table Mountain are good at. Saw a couple doe and antelope, you know, trying to avoid, but really it was super calm and just got into position. We knew there were 2 bucks bedded down where we were going, both shooters. And as we got closer, one was hard-horned and one was velvet, and you could tell that the hard-horned was probably the better buck of the 2. I mean, honestly, I was probably more calm than I thought I was going to be, and I think that's probably because of the kind of calmness of the group in a way. Like, you know, and I didn't have time to stare at the deer for 25 minutes and get all excited about it. It was, you know, that's the deer. Oh, there it is. It stood up and it's time to shoot. Scott calmly said, knock an arrow. I knocked an arrow. He said, draw. I drew. And pretty much on command, the deer stood up and looked at us, and as soon as he said shoot, I just put it on where he told me to and let it go.
You hammered him. He is dead.
Work.
He is dead.
Shot went off. We could tell it sounded great. The deer started to run a little bit, and pretty clearly you could see that it was a good shot. There was blood coming out of it. It ran maybe 50 yards and stopped for quite a while, and then maybe went another 50 or 60 yards and finally laid down. And we could see it the whole time. So, and then just celebrating with people that are, you know, great friends and great people. It's really nothing better.
Boy, I heard that hit.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Just, you know, you just had that chest sound, you know, I've heard 100 times. I didn't want to hear it another couple hundred.
Oh,
Awesome.
So the deer was awesome. I mean, it's pretty cool when you can hunt velvet bucks when they're becoming hardhorn, and the character and what's on his antlers. It's a really, you know, unique and very finite amount of time you can hunt them like that. So that's really cool. And then he was a beautiful deer. Kind of the perfect example of what a mule deer buck should look like. The experience is really first class all the way around. I mean, and I think that it's set to that by the people that's here. It's, you know, the wildlife is incredible, the land is incredible, the hunting is incredible, but the people that you're surrounded with, Scott and Angie, the other guides, everybody in camp, it's just good people, and that I think makes the hunt that much more enjoyable and special and memorable. So I think that is really what, you know, the deer is awesome, and it was my first archery big game kill, so I will always remember that, but more than that, I will remember who I was there with. If you've wanted to do a mule deer hunt or antelope or really anything out west and you don't know where to go or you haven't done it yet, I could not think of a better place to really start that than Table Mountain. You'll learn, you'll see how it's done in a, you know, hugely successful way, and you'll be in hands that can coach you through the process and make it very easy and kind of stress-free, but also really exciting and enjoyable. Not guaranteed, but I think, you know, if you're prepared, I think you'll be very successful.